initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Examples: bin, break, buy, bubble, bubble, baby, stab, tube, disturb. All these reflect how the sound can occur at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Likewise, you should note that the sound B is silent in some words, just like we discussed under P. Words like debt, it is not debt, it is debt. Plumber, plumber, under plumber, it is not plumber, it is plumber. Womb, it is not womb. Subtle and not subtle. Tomb and not tomb. Lamb and not lamb. Comb, not comb. Bomb, not bomb. Limb, not limb, not limb. Lamb, not lamb. So there are other words where you would have a B in the spelling, but it is not realized in the pronunciation. Another one is the sound is produced with minimal vibration in the oral cavity, and its production involves the upper teeth and the lower lip, and that is why it is called labiodental sound, because you have the labial, which is talking about the lips, and then under it we have just one lip and the upper teeth coming together. So it is a voiceless labiodental fricative sound, because the air is gradually released in its production. It can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words, and the spellings include GH, PH, F, and double F. Examples: final at the initial stage, philosophy, fit, physics, selfish, that is at the middle position, defend, confuse, confess. At the final position, we can have self, cough, handcuff, dandruff, and so on. V. That is another sound. V. V. The sound is produced with total obstruction of air in the oral cavity. So when you have total obstruction, it means it is going to be a voiced sound. And you should note that they are usually in pair. V and F are in pair. While F is voiceless, V is voiced. And the earlier discussed P is voiceless, while B is voiced. So the two of them are paired. The sound is produced when the upper teeth and the lower lip come together. So it is a voiced, labiodental, and fricative sound. It can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words, and its spellings include just one spelling, V, that is V. Examples: van at the initial stage, victory, view, vehicle, convict at the middle position, divert, reverse, prevent. At the final position, you can have do, revive, curve, leave, and so on. Another pair, we have K and G. We are picking K first. The sound is produced with partial obstruction of air in the oral cavity, and then it is a voiceless sound because it is produced with partial obstruction of air. It is produced at the back of the tongue, close to the velum and the soft palate. It is therefore a voiceless, velar, plosive sound. And the spellings include K, C, double C, CK, and Q. The sound can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Examples: at the initial position, you can have curve, kite, kettle, cue, cup. At the middle, you can have occupy, chicken, vacation, calculate, knuckle. At the final position, we can have check, check, whisk, drake, cake, and so on. The sound is silent in some words, just like we have under B and P. In words like night, spelled as K-N-I-G-H-T, the sound is voiceless, is silent. Another one is knife, where you have K-N-I-F-E. K-N-I-C-K-E-R-S, pronounced as knickers, also as K at the beginning, but the K in that spelling is silent. It is pronounced as N. K-N-O-B, which is no. The K in that spelling is silent. It is pronounced as N. And the pair, the second one, G. This is produced with total obstruction of air, unlike the K, which is light. It is a voiced sound, and it is also produced at the back of the tongue, at the back of the mouth, close to the velum and soft palate. It is a voiced, velar, plosive consonant sound, and it can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. The spellings of G include G and double G. Examples and words. At the initial position, you can find G in gate, gate, girl, gun, greet, gram. At the middle, you can have again, cigarette, rigor, finger, trigger. At the final position, you can have dig, rag, fig, cog, wig, and so on. The sound G is silent or produced as another sound in the following words, meaning when you have it in some words, the pronunciation could be different. For instance, S-P-O-N-G-E is pronounced as sponge. The sound in that word is different from G, so it is not the sound, the spelling under it. The spelling G does not dictate the pronunciation. Nat, as in G-N-A-T, the G in that spelling is silent. Nash, G-N-A-S-H. Register, R-E-G-I-S-T-E-R. The G in that spelling is different from the sound G. Siege, the same is applicable to siege, S-I-E-G-E. Rang, rang. In this spelling, it is another sound that is realized. It is not the G sound. Then cough, the sound is F and not G. And lastly, we have gem. Gem is spelled G-E-R-M. Another sound is realized in the spelling G under gem. T. The sound is paired with D. So, T is produced with a partial obstruction of air coming from the oral cavity. It is a voiceless sound. It is produced with the tip of the tongue raised to the alveolar ridge. And then you can say it is a voiceless alveolar plosive sound. Its spellings include T and double T. It can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Examples: at the initial position, you can have toy, teeth, text, tissue, tank. At the middle, we can have vital, witness, electricity, continent, settle. At the final position, we can have credit, bandit, invite, collect, feast, and so on. The sound is silent in words like apostle, castle, often, and so on. The The sound is produced with total obstruction. So while t is voiceless, the is voiced. It is produced the same way t is produced. So it is a voiceless alveolar plosive sound. Its spellings include D and double D. It can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Examples: date, dull, dime, dock, dig. At the middle position: dwindle, interdict, reduce, abduct, cadence. At the final position: daddy, blind, wind, sand, friend. The is silent in the following words: bridge, adjourn, budget, adjourn, sandwich, adjective, Wednesday, adjacent, answer, and so on. Sh. This is another sound. Sh. It is produced with partial obstruction, and it is paired with ch. It is a voiceless sound, and it is produced when the tip of the tongue is touching the alveolar ridge and the middle of the tongue is raised to the hard palate. Its spellings include CH, S, SH, and T. It is a voiceless palato-alveolar fricative sound. It can be realized at the initial, middle, and final positions of English words. Examples in words: initial. At the initial stage, we can have shoe, champagne, sheep, sheep, chevron, chateau. At the middle position: attention, prevention, caution, congratulation, mention, injection. Final position: polish, foolish,